All right, good evening, race fans. We're tonight. That's right. We're in the big state here, Texas, man. Everything's big in Texas, and we got a big track here tonight. It's Texas Motor Speedway here for the Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. Qualifying just wrapped up. Guys are going to do a little bit of warm-up, get out here and test the waters of this track tonight. And, you know, this is, we've talked in the past, man, Wes, about, tracks and different style tracks. This is considered probably one of the cookie-cutter style tracks, kind of more mimicked of like what Charlotte is and so forth and so on. But I know you talked to some of the drivers before the race and, just by watching a real-life race earlier, and then knowing kind of the tendencies of this, I think the dirty air we're going to see a lot of tonight, and track position might be crucial.
Yeah, and that's definitely what I've been hearing as well, as track position is going to be your main priority. If it's a split strategy, you probably want to be on the strategy that stays out, unless it's like only two people staying out. But dirty air is so key, and yes, Texas is typically styled as a cookie cutter type track. But I can tell you from running a race here, not in the Cups, but in the Xfinity cars Friday, turn 1 is so long it seems like it goes on forever, while as turn 3 kind of comes and goes quickly. So turn 1 is definitely going to be probably the more important part about finding somewhere clean to run on the racetrack.
And you're right there to bring that up. I mean, it design-wise, designed kind of close to what, the Charlotte base and all that is. But I've raced here in the past. It's been a while. I know things have changed updates-wise here on iRacing. And, you bring that up. The way I remember when coming out of turn 2 is, it's almost like it feels like it pushes the turn 2, but then instantly can snap it loose. And so it's kind of it is different than driving Charlotte, even though the track's layout are almost the same and whatnot, but a little bit of different characteristics of driving. We also have our admin box still, underway. And, correct me if I'm wrong, because I did not get an updated one, so I hope I'm right on it here with Texas. It should be Grusmacher versus Cole Macheski, and then Genningsman versus Clore. So we're getting down to maybe the nitty-gritty of this thing, so to speak.
Yeah, 4 drivers left, so we're looking at 3, including today, 3, maybe 4 races, and I did get clarification.
2 races. So, showing 2, Dover and Charlotte, after today.
Yeah. I did get clarification. So, since it is a double elimination race.
Okay.
If, say, we have it, Grusmacher wins here, and then you've got Clore advances, then Cole Macheski versus Cole Macheski wins.
Right.
And that final battle between Grusmacher and Cole Macheski.
Okay.
If Cole Macheski wins, it goes to his second race since it is a double elim.
Okay, so it's like the best out of 2 or best out of something or whatever. I don't.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. All right. Good deal. Yeah.
So for sure, there's 2 more after this, maybe 3, depending on if we need that tiebreaker.
I got you. Okay. And see, tonight, and like what you just explained there, too, Grusmacher and Cole Macheski, obviously they're battling to actually. We'll go ahead and say it, lack of not knowing, the final race of Charlotte. And Genningsman and Clore are battling to hopefully go to Dover and try to get to that race in Charlotte. But then obviously the loser between Grusmacher and Cole Macheski, like you explained, will go to Dover and take on the winner of the other 2. So it'll be a little interesting. It's kind of interesting, little battle there. I'll also, with that said, too, we've got the points. We are getting close on season-wise. We've got, I think it's 8 more races left here in the season.
Yeah.
I think it's 8. Is it 8?
I think it's 8.
Yeah.
About 2 months worth of racing.
Yeah, about 2 months. Yeah. So we might be, obviously the Charlotte race is up. It might get moved to the final. So right now I believe Phoenix is showing our final, and I will double check that. Yes, Richmond, showing the final right now, but actually Charlotte might be. And the reason that is, just real quick, is right now Charlotte, obviously everybody knows Coca-Cola 600 and Indy 500. It's the day of racing, basically. And Unfortunately, racing on that day, the Charlotte race falls on that day also. So they were like, man, a lot of the drivers won't be able to make it. They might either be at the race, or out and about or so forth and so on. So votes up right now, folks. We don't know. Right now, we do know Charlotte's winning to move it to the end of the season. So West could be Charlotte, man, be the championship race here rather than Richmond.
And honestly, I think Charlotte makes for a good final race. Just it's
strategy race. Yeah.
It's a strategy race. 300 laps around Charlotte. What is that? 450 miles. It's not a bad race.
No.
And honestly, my favorite season finale racetrack is probably Homestead. It's what I grew up watching most of the time until they switched to Phoenix recently, and I just love that track because of the multiple grooves. In Charlotte, you can kind of run it that way as well, so I'd say Charlotte's still a good final race if we got it.
Okay, sounds good. Right now, man, these guys out here practicing up a little bit, and we talked about this track here at Texas. This is more of I'm going to say it like this when we talk about saying cookie cutter, but I'm going to kind of flip it over, and I'm going to say this is more of an aero style track. We talked a lot about last week, man, aerodynamics because we're at the Talladega, and it was really cool. Again, here, when I say aero, I mean dirty air is going to really play a huge factor here on how you're able to get around that car in front of you because, yes, depending on how much newer tires you have, they should have an advantage, but not 100% of the time because it could be very easy and then fall off of the tires. We've talked about that in the past. So I'm gonna refer to it more of as an aero style track here tonight, and dirty air really will play a factor. And it's frustrating from a driver's standpoint here, Wes, because you could be behind a guy and you're just right there, maybe a car length or two, and then the car just feels like there's a brick wall and you just can't go any further.
Yeah, just a little bit. We typically talk about how much difference in speed and lap times you're going to need to easily blow by someone.
Sure.
And we typically say you'll probably need about 0.2 of a second every lap just in order to go past them quite easily. Here, I say you might need closer to half a second just because of how much, the closer you get to the car in front, that aero wash and everything is going to be so much worse.
Yep.
And in turn one, I say you don't want to make the move just because, like you said, as I was talking about it, how turns 1 and 2 feel so long, it definitely pushes you up tight through the corner.
Yeah, so, even though, like I say, the layout looks the same, kind of characteristics of the track here. But again, on the flip side of that coin, I'm only referring to a lot of things that I've drove in the past here on iRacing as far as fixed style setups. These are open setups if you're new out there and just tuned in and watching. These are open setups, so meaning these guys have the ability throughout the week and whatnot, and even throughout the night, is to change the car. They can change tire pressure, most of the time the track bar on it. I feel like they might be able to change some shock stuff. I don't know if they can do that in the pits. I know they can change track bar, tire pressure. Been a while since you can tell I've been in one at an open setup. So those two I know of. Wes, anything else?
Brake bias you can change even in the fixed setup.
I know brake bias.
But even that gives you a good amount of rotation depending on the track as well.
Can you change the shocks? I don't think you can change shocks or anything, can you?
I think you can.
In pitting? Okay.
Not in pits.
No, that's what I'm talking about. In pitting, like if they go into the pits, I know they can do tire, air pressure, track bar, obviously brake bias, like you said. What else can they do?
I don't think you can do shocks.
Okay. So all that stuff, shocks, bump stops, caster camber, stuff like that. You better have that down pat beforehand. How you want your car set up. Track bar, though, is one thing I know they can do. So you have a lot more freedom, so to speak, doing things. 38 having internet issues and power issues. Going to be a rough night over here.
Yeah,
okay.
He talked about having half the house as a circuit blowout. So,
ouch! Good Lord. Don't die on us over there, man.
I wish Dylan good luck and hopefully he can get racing because He's always fun to watch. He's been up front a lot recently.
38? Is it 38?
38, yeah. Dylan Grutzmacher.
Oh, Grutzmacher. Oh, my bad. Well, you said Dylan. I was like, you're right, Grutzmacher. Okay. Well, man, and you know what is bad too is he's one of the ones in the admin thing also. Wow.
Yeah, he's up against Thomas tonight.
Yeah, so that's a tough one, man. I hate that on his end. So, and in that bracket, well, no, excuse me, in that bracket actually, he would have another chance. In the Guineasman Chlor bracket, there is no, second chance, so to speak. So obviously, Grutzmacher could have a second chance here, but well, folks,
you don't want to use it up.
You don't want to. Yeah, you're right. You don't want to use it up. So if you don't have to, so hopefully everything works out good for him. But well, let's look at the grid here because we're gridding him up here tonight, and the man puts it on pole for the night's race. Out front, Jorgensen, man, I tell you what, it might be his first one here this season. We'll have to double check on it for it. But got Gardner sitting there behind him in second. Vincent going to close it up in third. Gerlach starting fourth. Timothy Latham there in the fifth. We've got Cole Macheski starting sixth. Justin Boyle starting seventh. Omar Sanchez there in the eighth. Alex Carr in ninth. O'Shane Clore, he's there in the 10th. Westwood starting 11th. There's Medina. He's in the 12th place machine. Look back at the 13th. We got Art Nicotera, 14th, Joshua Hyatt. 15th, we got J.P. Jones. There's Dylan Grutzmacher starting in the 16th. David Salter starting in the 17th. Brian Holloman, 18th. You got Brian Alphin right there in the 19th. Michael Seymour, 20th. Chad Kibbe in the 21st. Joe Bender in 22nd. And Greg Carr, 23rd. So, good-looking field out here tonight. Yeah, I mean, Jorgensen put it on pole. I think is that his first one this season?
I think it might be his first one. He might have got. I'm pretty sure it is.
I want to get Chris and them up there to get us some stats here, man, where we can go to get us some stats on the league and whatnot, folks.
Let me look here.
Apologize on that one there, my bad. Actually, I probably could. Happening 30 seconds before qualify. Yeah, man, we hate that on Dylan. Man, we hope it gets. I mean, hey, look, we're on a virtual world, folks, and there's some things we can't control, even on my end. And that's what I tell league owners, I tell viewers out there, I tell drivers. Internet and Mother Nature is probably the two things that I can't control. Sometimes, power outages happen, and, ISPs decide that they're going to, go do the little update during the time I'm trying to do the race, or, they just want to have some problems, things like that. And then obviously, you can have some computer issues. So you've seen it in the past. I've seen some guys, man, have some good ones and have some heartbreaks. But pace truck's in. Up front, Jorgensen, Gardner. They're going to start us off here. We are racing in Texas.
A great jump by Dakota as well, and I did double check, Joe. First pole for the season for the number 9.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, good jump, man, there by Jorgensen and Vincent. They get clear of the pack. Kind of similar to what we saw here in the real race today. It's going to be kind of chaotic a little bit. Everybody trying to get what they can get. I call it, you got to be conservative, aggressive. You got to be kind of conservative because you don't want to get yourself in a wreck, but you got to be aggressive because you don't want to fall back too far, and you got to try to get everything you get while the getting's good at the time.
Yeah, restarts are really the best time to go forward because everybody's clumped up together. Granted, we're not saying your car can't come up through the field. We've seen that several times throughout the season with some of our drivers. But the restart definitely is the best place to make up positions, but also the best way to lose it if you get involved in a wreck.
Absolutely. A track like this, we've mentioned drivers being a little more aggressive. Drivers have been a little more, conservative. See the battle up front here with Jorgensen and Vincent. So Vincent's going to try it on the outside. And just real quick, I think the outside probably will be a better passing place here tonight. But we've seen some guys, aggressive drivers and conservative drivers. I'm going to say you're going to have to be a little bit of both here tonight, and that's kind of condescending really when you think about it. But you can't be too conservative because if you fall back and the guy in front of you, if he gets too far ahead, then by the time the pit stop cycle comes around, well, guess what? By the time you do catch him at the end of that pit stop cycle, he's going to get new tires and just walk right back off of you again.
Yeah, and I'd say you're definitely going to want to be a bit of both. I think Colton in the 40 finally cleared Latham inside. He is. Yeah. So he's got third locked in. But I agree, being both conservative and aggressive, you don't want to be laid too far back. Granted, it's the best way to keep your car clean to the end of the race is to be conservative. Don't get yourself involved in something you don't need to. But you also need to be able to be on the aggressive side and make moves whenever you can.
Yeah, and two, I'm looking at, again, with these guys having open setups, obviously we're going to see different style of driving and how these guys have their cars set up. Now, I did watch the highlights of the real race earlier, and, I usually try to. And I saw something interesting there that we've actually seen. We haven't seen it lately, but we saw it kind of really bad earlier in the season. And actually happened to Kyle Larson. Car just spun out from under him. Just no reason. Boom. And we've seen that earlier in the season. We haven't really seen it too much here lately, but maybe something to keep an eye on here at this track.
Yeah, Texas tends to be a little bit slick, and I know there's definitely a big bump out of 4 that can really upset your car. And beyond just the racing surface, I'm going to say pit road exit. We saw it a little bit during the warm-up with the Nonage organism himself.
Yeah.
He kind of looped it coming out of pit road. And personally, I did that a couple times on Friday, so I know pit exit here is also going to be really tricky.
Well, you can see that high line working really well right there. Gerlach looks like he's taking over that position with Latham and company, and I think that's going to be the play. Not saying that the low line can't do anything, but I think as the tires go on, you just got that momentum up on that top side, and you can see it right there. Who is that down low? And I think it's Latham. He's just kind of falling back a little bit, and Kolmachevsky's getting that high run running. We'll see if we can do anything on the low side.
Yeah, it was a great run through 1 and 2 for the 69 of Kolmachevsky. Went to the inside of Gerlach. Nothing happened for him there. So kind of single file for most of the pack, I'd say. A couple guys taking advantage whenever they see it.
Yeah, call it cluster style racing. You see them single file, and you'll see something like right here, Gerlach and Gardner trying to battle it out. Kolmachevsky coming in there, and you mentioned that just a second ago about Kolmachevsky. He went to that inside, and it kind of fills it out. It ran out of steam, and I think that's what we're going to see. You can get that run going in, but if you don't get it cleared, you need that car to come out of that turn and kind of wash up the track a little bit. If you're not able to, you're kind of pitching it down. It can instantly, snap loose on you.
Hopefully we don't see the looping we saw early on in the season. It's always going to be... It was fun to watch that, and we always told the guys, hey, loose is fast, but keep the car underneath you, and they toned it down with how loose they ran it and kept the cars underneath them, so it's good to see we're not looping as much as we used to.
Yeah.
And hopefully we don't see it tonight with Texas.
It's funny you mention that, too, because and that's kind of just a little early season jitters, so to speak. You're really excited. You're pumped up. You got a lot of adrenaline, man. It's a new season starting. You get out there, and you just want to go fast, and it takes a couple times, man, for it to bite you in the butt, so to speak, lack of a better word. And then you're going, okay, maybe I better concentrate a little bit on the setup. I think that's kind of what it's been, because we went through a little stretch there for a while. And, I know the admins up there with Chris and Dave up there, they had to clamp down, put the foot down a little bit. It was going through a few races there. It was kind of rough. But all in all, these guys, man, now have just come out here, and we've had some solid, great racing. Not that it wasn't great racing in the past, but we've had some really great racing.
Yeah, and everybody, they might call it a snooze fest because it's long green flag runs. You don't have cars right on top of each other every living moment. But I'd say the long green flag runs is better because cautions just slows the tempo way down.
And that is funny. You do bring that up. I mean, because we came from, and you're going to see a lot of that next week. A lot of the talking points next week because we go to our first road course race, Watkins Glen. Is going to be race to track. Here, yes, you still have to worry about other drivers and all that because you're still on the oval side. But to me here, this is strategic style racing. And I think I said that earlier, that this track is going to be more of a, actually I said it about Charlotte, it's going to be more of a strategic style race. This one can tend to be that way too. I said it was more an aero race. And right now I think we're seeing it. It's a hard place to pass. You just can't I don't think you're going to see anybody just blow through the field. Yeah, you'll see somebody coming up here. Matter of fact, Holloman already up 7 spots. He'll pick them off one by one, but you can even see he's not just coming through the field like game busters. And so yeah, Wes, it's just this is just typical. Well, cookie cutter style track racing. I mean, Texas and all the other ones. And you either like it. Some people, like you said, think it's a snooze fest. I don't know. I mean, racing's racing. Not everything can be Bristol. Then.
No, not everything should be Bristol either.
Yeah, it'd be kind of wild, man. Bristol style racing on these speeds because I mean, we talked Talladega last week, getting up to 190, 200 mile an hour. You're still getting up to quite a bit of speed here. You might be getting around about, say, at least 180 some. If I could put up 180 some. I just saw a flash right there. 160s, 150s in the turns. Let's see what he does here. We can't see it, but the audience can see it in that far corner there. I put up mile per hour for you. 178. Looks like he hits 180 before he goes in that turn right there, folks. So that's still a substantial amount of speed. Anywhere you go.
Yeah, between 180 to 185 going into turn 3, which is probably where you're hitting your fastest bit. Maybe closer to 190 after the tri-oval.
Yeah.
But if we were to have the style of racing that we would at Bristol with this, I think we'd see a caution about every 2 laps.
Right. Oh, Tyler, watching and learning for tomorrow's truckers. Okay. Now, that's an interesting, and folks, just to clarify on where I'm getting this at is, the one thing that me and Wes have an advantage of that real announcers in the real world don't is we can interact with our viewers and fans as, they can in real life. Obviously, they can't just walk out into the crowd, So, question out there was just watching and learning for tomorrow's truck race. So that's interesting that you bring that up because now, and maybe Wes, you know this better than me because you actually, I think, either run or you actually help in the truck series.
I do commentary on it as well, and I run some practice with some of them, yeah.
All right, so what can he learn from watching this to take over to the trucks? I know, there's a major difference there, but what would he be looking for? If you were a driver, what would you be looking for?
You said trucks are a lot different from the cars, which they are a little bit. They're a little heavier, but they've got some similar levels of downforce and some similar levels of horsepower. Setup also? They are open setup as well.
Okay.
So you can kind of watch how they react through turns. Trucks, I find it's a little bit easier, at least on the fixed setup wise. I don't know about open.
Okay.
To turn in, but at the same time, the tracks with it being open setups can be a little similar, so you can kind of learn a bit, like how I did Friday. I was using that as a test for another race at Texas on Wednesday.
Okay.
Just trying to learn how the track might evolve throughout the night.
Okay, awesome. And and you see, like right here with the battle right here is this car, Nicotera, Medina right there in the pack battling. I guess you can also learn to say, okay, looking to see what maybe lane's going to work, what lane's not going to work. And obviously we spoke with that a little bit ago. Looking like the high lane worked, and even in a real world race earlier, it looked like the high lane was. Not to say you can't pass on the bottom, but it's going to be the passing on the bottom. To me, I felt like you're going to have to get the run, get the pass, and go. If not, you're going to get stuck down there and you're going to get washed back. And actually, we're kind of seeing it right here with cars stuck down on the bottom. Everybody else is kind of going to go. Now, on the flip side of that, Wes, I asked you on it now. Maybe Tyler or Tilla. Tyler out there, I know you said you're watching. Maybe comment real quick what you're wanting to learn here tonight. And anybody else out there, matter of fact, wants to do it. But so far, a good little battle. And this is about 12th place spot here, Wes, man. Going, I said that they get spread out, like you said, single file. And then you just kind of see guys maybe picking them off one by one coming through the field.
Yeah, it's and single file. It's nothing bad about it. And like we've called it throughout the season, as I think you described it perfectly. The little cluster racing we got. Yeah. Probably the best way. One cluster might slow down as someone's trying to get past some slower cars, and another car will come and join it. Eventually, that cluster will either shift forward or shift back throughout the race. it's not always going to be the exact same cars, as you saw Holloman trying to get through both Westwood and Hammonds, or not Hammonds, but Sanchez right there. That allowed Medina in the 48 to come a little bit closer. Now he's going to join that little cluster of Westwood and Sanchez, and it's going to be 3 different cars, technically, even though 2 of them are the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You see the battle right now here. That's actually Westwood, and like you said, Sanchez, and it's actually bringing Medina into the picture here, and it all depends on what Medina wants to do, and he's stinging 3 wide. Now, I don't know if that's going to work. I don't think it worked really well real life here today, so yeah, backed out of that one, but I don't know if he's got enough momentum to even make that. That's a perfect shot right there to show how you have to have that inside lane done through the whole entire turn. If not, you're going to lose so much momentum. You see it there.
Yeah, if you're going to try to make the move 3 wide in the middle, have commitment. Don't back out of it. Commit to it. Now, I'm not saying commit so hard that you wreck the person.
Yeah.
But don't stick your nose into it and then halfway back out of it, because he might think about the same thing.
And right there,
also,
man,
Tyler did reply.
Yeah, I saw that out there. We'll get that in here in a second. I'm just watching this battle right here because it is very interesting. Because we were talking about what can you learn. Well, we're learning a lot right here. You see Medina, he gets to run on the inside. Now, he could go up. The problem is watch this. Off that turn, there's so much momentum there by Westwood that he would have to almost throw a block or just kind of just jump up there in the front and take a risk, maybe Westwood, tapping him in the rear or whatnot. But man, I just want to say that inside lane, yeah, you can make the pass. It's going to be tricky. And you mentioned out there, yeah, he looks mostly looking at the aero advantage. Perfect right here, Tyler. Learn a lot by watching the aero advantage right here. And then what we've been talking about earlier, Wes, aero dependent track here tonight. I call it an aero style race, aero track. Dirty air is going to make all the difference. And right here you can see this is probably about one of the best examples that we can show is how you can see Medina look like he had the faster car, but just cannot make that pass due to the dirty air and how the air and the aero of these cars work.
Yeah, and we kind of mentioned on it pre-race about how we talk about how much of a time difference you need to get through that dirty air to get a pass done coming up on someone else. And you're definitely going to need a lot faster car to just get up and get around them because of how bad the air is seeming to be here tonight.
Now, I'm going to go out on a limb and go ahead and say it. Probably one of the reasons Medina, man's not very fast tonight and he's not been able to get around is because he put Cowboys on his car. He should stay with Marlboro. So Medina's going to go back and listen to it and go, what? Yeah, see, put the Marlboro back on. We like the Marlboro cars.
we like it, but Jose rode what you want.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, any other road what you want, but I mean, he was smoking fast. I mean, it was on the Marlboros. Now he kind of went and, the last time Cowboys won anything was back when VCRs were famous, so you got to give him a hard time. But it is a good battle to showcase what really the challenge of this track is right here. And this is, we've seen this in the real race here today, the NASCAR race. A very challenging place to pass. And so the battle here between him and Westwood is definitely a good showcase of what the air and the aero is like. As opposed to right here with Vincent. Vincent's out in clean air, and he is long gone. I mean, you got Kolmacheski now trying, but Kolmacheski's utilized that high side and not so much try to get trapped on that low side to try to pass cars, and he's done it one by one. So throughout the field, and the top 3 guys right now, they've got some pretty clean air. They got about 4 seconds over Jorgensen.
It's a nice healthy gap to say the least. And those 3 cars just seem to be hooked up more than anybody else. My question, especially with Kolmacheski, my question is always going to be tire wear and how much he hurts them early on in a run.
Yeah, his last lap, I mean, he was a little bit faster up there than Vincent. I spoke of that a little bit too. Most tracks, you either can be like, let's conserve some tires, be a little, conservative. The aggressive driver, man, gets out front, runs his tires off, runs them really hard, and the guy comes chasing him down. This track, you've got to have a fine line and a balance of doing that. Because by the time, if you're too conservative, let's use Jorgensen as an example. If he's being conservative trying to save tires, the problem is those guys in front of him are just walking off from him. By the time he does try to start making up that distance, it's going to be pit cycle time again. Well, then it just goes right back around. It's like a merry-go-round all the time. So you got to have a good little balance. Let's hope that that's what Kolmacheski has. And you're right, he's not out here maybe tearing up the tires, but then again, if he's got that right balance, he might have good speed here and be the man to watch.
And we've also got a fuel strategy races. You know I love them. One of my favorites to see. We've got 200 laps for tonight, an estimated fuel window of about I heard 66 laps of fuel. So looking like if they just save a little bit, they can do only 2 stops and be good. Granted, depends on how cautions fall if we get any.
Yeah, and that would be. So first off, obviously when we calculate, let's go caution free, because cautions, like you said, they always just go mess up everything. So if they go 65, that's 130. Ugh. That's still
then 195.
Yeah. So that's close. That's close. Now if you factor in a caution in there,
hold on to it, Blair.
Yeah, that was a close one right there. Whoa. Blair actually was making up some ground too, so might start seeing these cars get a little bit loose here. Might be the time we start to see the tires actually start to kind of go away. Well, we're at lap right now. We're already at lap 38, so yeah, you're probably starting to feel a little bit of looseness on those tires.
A little wiggly.
Yeah, Holloman already up 8 spots, but yeah, so it's gonna be close, like we're talking about with the fuel. Be interesting. Something keep in the back of the mind as the race goes on. But right now, I know they're not thinking too much heavily about fuel because you definitely got to make that first pit stop. You got Gardner right now trying to see if he can't bounce back. He's kind of lost 6 spots so far. He's still in the 8th. Sanchez right there in the 9th. Holloman's still making pretty good. And remember, we were talking about Grusmacher. He said he's having a few little, technical difficulties on his end, but he's still hanging right there in a 12th place spot. And he's battling, Clore in the admin. And who is?
Grusmacher's against Kolmacheski.
Kolmacheski, okay. Oh, well, yeah, either way. Well, Clore's up front, too, and Kolmacheski's right there, unfortunately, in the 2nd spot. So, yeah. But I think, like we said, Grusmacher's not out of it. If he does, not get up there, he's still got a... Actually, yeah, he's still got a shot to go in the loser's bracket. So he could actually, it theoretically could come down. Let's say if Kolmacheski wins, he could come back to Grusmacher and Kolmacheski again. It could.
It definitely could.
Yeah, it could come down to them again. It's kind of wild. So they can meet again, man, later on in the tournament. So.
Don't want to see that though.
Ooh, no, you definitely don't, man. That's going to split, man. Was that Nicotera and who's that up?
And then Bender up in the wall now.
Is that Bender? Yeah. Oh, he hit it hard too. He might have got some tire damage on that one. A lot of things we don't see on these cars because they don't crumple like what the older style car is. It's very easy. One, to knock the aero out of these cars. 2, wheel damage. It could knock the toe, could knock the steering and whatnot. We don't see it very well here, but the driver definitely can feel that, and that's probably what's happening right there. Bender's on pit road. He's probably gonna have some repairs done, but that's kind of what tends to happen with this car here when you smack the wall. Pretty good solid hit.
Yeah. Whew, sorry. One thing that I know I've dealt with a lot is even it doesn't even have to be one massive hit that does it. It can be several like small taps, and just throughout the race, it gets worse and worse and worse. Where you're going down the straight, your car is perfectly fine, perfectly level with the steering wheel going down the straight. Eventually, you might end up about 30 degrees left or right. You definitely don't want to end up full 90 degrees offset whenever you're going down the straightaway.
Yeah, that would be kind of bad. You know, you don't want that to happen. Jorgensen, who put it on pole tonight, unfortunately is falling back a little bit. Back here in the 7th, he's got Sanchez there with him. Latham's there. You got Carr. You're just starting to see these one-by-one kind of style passes. You know, spoke of it earlier. The guys been a little bit better on the long run than they are on that shorter run. Vincent definitely, man, very good all around, because look up front and right here's what we're talking about, you know, the dirty air. These two guys almost running about the same, but Komacheski just not been able to reel him in.
No, he's not, and it again, you said it about running the same lap. Around 0.8 of a second has been the gap the last, I'd say, handful. And they've kind of stretched away from Gerlach as well in 3rd, who I think Clore's starting to close in on.
The Clore ran, that last lap, man, Gerlach ran a little bit quicker, but Clore right now, he's still got about 3.9, 3.8 seconds difference. Justin Boyles actually looking good. You know, he's one that always kind of comes to the field. Clore's come up 6 spots so far. But Boyles right there in the 5th. You got Sanchez right behind him. And a little bit of battle going on here, man. Jorgensen and Carr. The two guys are going to go at each other. Hey, Jorgensen's car is just not happy about something right now. It's just kind of falling off the pace.
And we also talked about a pre-race with what all the drivers can change in their pit stops throughout to adjust their car. One thing, I don't think you can just leave the car alone, especially with Texas, how hot and slick this track can get. You're going to want to make adjustments all throughout the race. Not trying to play catch up, but trying to play stay ahead.
And that's something we have, talked about in some of the other races. And some of the other races are really, really hard to make those adjustments because your car is so good. I think, like what you mentioned earlier on this track, the way it changes throughout the race, not to say it's not still hard, but it might be a little easier to try to say, okay, my car's still great, it's still running straight, I'm not really having a lot of problems, but I can feel it here on this track. I can feel it getting loose, feel it getting a little tighter, as opposed to some tracks where where your car is so darn good that you're not really feeling it get loose or get tight, and you're like sitting there wondering what the heck we need to change. It's closer right there between Carr and Boyles. You guys get on each other. Oh,
Holloman, Grutzmacher involved.
Yep, see that one, man. Holloman around. Let's see what happened to him on the replay here. Oh, he just lost it. Yeah, we talked about that.
Several snaps in a row.
Oh, Grutzmacher.
Dylan kind of nowhere to go.
Wow. Yeah, and it's funny because I mentioned that. We saw that in a real race, and then earlier, and then I mentioned that would we see it tonight, and right there. But it was getting about the time, 50 laps in, it's getting to that point to where those tires are really starting to wear down. How loose do you have your setup and so forth? So,
Yeah,
and now
tires were starting to scream.
Yeah, and now's the time what we were just talking about. So now, okay, I know what my car's been doing. What do I change on it? Yeah, for Vincent, that's a tough one because, man, it's
He's
good
been
out front.
Clean air all race.
Yeah, it's been really good, and like you said, that clean air. But yet again, I go back to this track. I think you can feel it a little bit more of what the car's doing, as opposed to some tracks. It's really tough because the car is, if it's really, really good, it's really, really good. And you're like, man, I don't want to touch it. I mean, but you got to, and that's something we've talked about that in the past. You just have, you got to do something, change tire pressure or do something. I mean, it might be small. I mean, it might be just a small adjustment, like just give me a pound of pressure or a half pound of pressure. I mean, something to try Okay, and then the next pit stop or the next caution, if that didn't work, okay, well, now we go back the other way with it. And the caution the first time. Vincent, man, he wins it off pit road. Cole Macheski there with him. Good pit stop by Vincent, man. Good in and out, man. Had a 45 total time to everybody else's 47, 48. So his pit stop itself wasn't the best, but in and out was really, really good. So total times what got him out of there. So we'll still line them up here, man. West got Vincent, Cole Macheski, Gerlach, Sanchez, Boyles. That's the top 5. Just unfortunate there, man, for Grusmacher. You know, he was talking about him having a technical difficulties problem, and now just getting caught up into that. It's not what he needed, especially for the admin box challenge or for the race tonight.
No, and also it's just nothing he could have done. Holloman, even though he tried to lock it up, you could see the tire smoke with it. But car just had too much momentum and he drifted high. Dylan nowhere to go with it.
Yeah, and that's product of this track right there. You know, Holloman, he just, you know, kind of just lost it coming out. You know, I mean, it's devastating as a driver. You know, a lot of the drivers, man, you know, come out here and, lack of a better word, they're proud of their driving skills, and you know, sometimes some tracks go, I don't care how proud you are, I'm going to make you look bad, you know. And unfortunately, the track bit him there, Holloman, so and got him loose and took him around, and Grusmacher nowhere to go, but going back green here soon.
Yeah, cars lined up, so Vincent, he's going to want the bottom again, which he had a great jump from 3rd place on the initial start.
Oh, yeah, he did. Let's see if he gets another good one here, because I know he was keeping Cole Macheski at bay there before the caution when it was a green flag run. Let's see what Cole Macheski does. How aggressive is he on this restart? I'll get it out there in a minute, folks. And then, you know, obviously you got Gerlach, Sanchez back there too. Don't count out Boyles in the mix, but pace car, lights off truck out there tonight. Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series, Texas. Big track, big field, man. Big power on here. And I always say big cows, too, because we're in Texas. I love it. Going back green. And Vincent's back at it. Man, look at that start he gets. He's gone.
Absolutely. I think he caught Cole Macheski lagging because he went so late in the box. But Cole Macheski, even then, he still had a good jump, able to take second immediately, not going to have to try to fight for it.
Yep. See Sanchez trying to high side, but just kind of feels his back. Here comes Boyles down on the bottom side. And he's going to try to get everything he can. And this is what we're talking about, being the aggressive side of things on the restarts, because this will play dividends to him as the race goes on. He gets up here to 3rd. He knew, man, I've got the new tires. I need to make that move. That's probably the one time you'll see where that inside lane really dominates is on new tires. You know, fresh, got a lot of grip out there, and you're able to make that pass and make that bottom lane. But as it goes on, I think everybody will tend to go back to that high side. I see Boyles right now, though. Look at him, boy. He's trying.
He's trying, but tucked up right behind somebody. Your car's not exactly going to be the happiest. Boyles, though, he did have the benefit of being in not lap traffic, but in a pack earlier, where he knew how his car was going to handle the dirty air as he shoots to the outside of Cole Macheski now.
Yeah, that's bad for Cole Macheski right there. Boyles is definitely going to have the advantage coming on that outside. I think that kind of surprised Cole Macheski a little bit, and Boyles was able to get to that outside of him, because normally you don't see it right there. I mean, you've got two really good drivers here, man, and Boyles and Cole Macheski going at each other. Let's see if Boyles has got anything, man, for Vincent. Can he get up there to him?
He's definitely going to try his hardest, and Cole Macheski, initial run, we saw him, he was working the high side more than anybody else. Now he seems to be running low, almost on the white line, both ends of the track.
I love the paint job. I like that. South Park. That's a character on South Park.
Yes.
I like that.
I don't know the character's name, but it is a character.
I don't know if that's
I
Randy
think that's
or
just
not.
I wasn't 100% sure when he showed it.
I'm not sure if that's. It looks like Randy. Somebody out in the comments let us know. It looks like Randy, but I could be wrong. They have a lot of figures that look like Randy on there, but I happened to just kind of get a glance over, so sorry about that.
It's not Randy.
It's not Randy. Okay.
No.
Is it Kyle's dad? Could be Kyle's dad. Anyway.
No, I think it's a custom one that he found a way to make.
Okay.
Looking at it.
Okay. All right. Well, y'all take y'all's guess out there in the chat. Let us know what y'all think about it. I know it's a South Park. So. We got Vincent out front. Boyle's right there in second. Cole Macheski up third. Gerlach in fourth. Latham hanging on there in the fifth. Sanchez, man, having a good run here in the sixth. Medina, man, holding strong up 5 spots there in seventh. Carr, this is where you're getting a little bit of battle around about that 8th place spot. You got Gardner now trying to take that spot away from Carr. Jorgensen hanging on there in the 10th. So we always talk about the Hornets' nest. Usually it's around about that 10th place spot.
And it's definitely not any different tonight. We saw with last run, both the 40 of Gardner and the 9 of Jorgensen, they were falling back through the pack. Now they're moving forward and probably made some adjustments to their cars for it. They went to around 13th spot, now sitting at 8th and 10th.
Yeah, you're right. Go. And that's what you got to do. Falling back a little bit. Let me see what kind of adjustments I can do. You got Kibbe right now here battling it out with Salter, who was up 6 spots. Kibbe's up 9. And then we're going to see about if Holloman can bounce back from the spin. Now he knows what that car will do. Been a long green flag run. And this is interesting, too, because this brings up our conversation that we talked about earlier. When was the caution going to fly? It flew at lap 50. Everybody came in and got pits. Now what does this do? I feel like now there's no question that you've got 2 more stops. I think we're too far off from the 60, 65 lap mark for them to kind of save that kind of fuel. We would have to have probably a massive amount of cautions. Hopefully we don't, but I think we would.
I'm right there with you, Joe. I think we're for sure going to see 2 more. Because that puts them about, 20 laps short?
Yeah.
Going based off 65, 65?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So the only way really to save that much fuel, cautions. And at that point, we're probably going to see them on pit road.
Stop on the track.
I mean, stop on the track's going to pull out a caution. So
yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, to save. I mean, if we were talking maybe 5 laps, 3 laps, yeah, okay, probably could. Yeah, I could see somebody doing it. But when you're getting in that 15 lap realm, you almost there's just no. I don't think in the history I've ever seen anybody save 15 laps of fuel. It would be an interesting trivia question of what is the longest fuel saving somebody's ever done. 6, 7 laps maybe, somewhere in that area.
I'm not exactly sure.
Neither, yeah.
I know we have seen some interesting ways to save fuel on some races this season from a couple of guys where they'd absolutely turn off the car and clutch it through about 75% of the turns.
Yeah. I'm going to go out on a limb and say maybe 6, 7 is about the longest maybe I've ever heard of, or I'm like you, not 100%, but I think 15, I just don't, even in the real world, I don't think someone's ever done 15. That's just kind of, that's a long saving there on the track. A good little battle right here, though, man. Unfortunately, the 28 machine right there, Salter, kind of, saltering back a little bit, falling. You got Kibbe there along with Holloman trying to make up some ground. And it looks like you got Hyatt coming around. Clore trying to come back up through the field. He actually got a penalty on pit road. That's what got him back there, because Clore was actually up front. And I just looked, he's got 1 minute 30 seconds total time, so he actually had a penalty that hurt him. And you've heard me speak of before, mental mistakes. A lot of that happens been on the oval side of things on pit road. we'll talk about it next week. It's been on a road course because there's a lot of areas there, but most of the time on the oval side, boom. Well, getting racy back there, ain't he?
Yeah, and this is the big hornet's nest typically we see around 10th place spot, which right now is the 21 of Alex car. He's got that. Then everybody else behind him kind of jumbles up.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not split out too far, spread out too far right now. I mean, we get another long green flag, they might start to. I mean, they're close enough right now if a guy maybe has a little bit of slip. The guy behind him is going to be able to take advantage of that. But they're close enough to where you're feeling that dirty air, which is really what we talked about. The aero effect is coming in. You really have to have that run. You see right here, what was that? That's Gardner. Gardner trying to make the move there on Medina, but it's just like a wall. It's like an air wall. It just stops the car. You have a little run, and then next thing you know, it's just like the car just don't want to go or starts pushing really hard.
Yeah, I mean, we've hit on it several times throughout the season. You've hit on it majorly today. This is going to be... It's going to be very much air dependent with the style of race.
Yeah. And it's frustrating as a driver because look right here, you're like, man, I got him. And then you're like, well, maybe I don't. You see him go right by. You're like, what? Yeah, I had the momentum. I had the run. I'm good. It's like right here. I've got the run again. I got to stop. Stop because he ran up on him that time. But it's frustrating as a driver because, and sometimes this is where you make your mistakes as a driver because then you want to push the car a little bit too much and then you overdrive the car. And then what happens is you got guys like this right here, Jorgensen, who is going to take advantage of the racing in front. He's going to go, but then he runs into the same problem. And so it's a cycle that just never ends.
A cycle that never ends, and it gives us these clusters that we like to talk about. One person that took advantage, and he's kind of gone away from a little bit of a hornet's nest we've seen recently. 48 of Medina, he was running the high trying to keep ahead of Colton Gardner, defend his position. Look how high up throughout turns 1 and 2 he is. Almost right up into the marbles, and he's been having some good runs. Gonna take it, duck to the inside of Latham here.
Now, if he can clear him, and he did, so it was a good slingshot style move. You don't see that. That's an old style move way back in the day. You don't see that too much here, in a modern style racing due to the fact of so much aero. They did that back in the day because you get the aero along with the horsepower that the cars had. But also look at who is that way up there? Is that Sanchez? Sanchez said, well, look pretty good there, Medina. Let me try it. And he went back down to the bottom.
Yeah, I think the preferred line probably for the most part through 3 and 4 is going to be the bottom. But turns 1 and 2, I think you're going to see a lot more drivers do what Medina and Sanchez were doing. Go as high as they can without getting up into the marbles and into the wall.
Yeah. And, and you bring that up, the high lane like that, or bringing up that low line. I'm with you on it. Preferred to want to be on the low, but on the flip side of that, trying to pass, I think you want to be on that higher lane.
Yeah, the high side's giving people a lot of good momentum. So if they can actually time it, what we saw with Medina, what he did to get around the 18 of Latham, I think we're going to see a lot more drivers do that, especially if they feel like they've got the car that can do it. But I mean, Medina, I'd say he was right on the edge of exactly where the car would have liked it with how close he was to the marbles.
Yeah, a track like Texas, man, get up out that high, that wall can easily stop out there, man, and slap you a little bit. So I don't know if I want to get that close to it. I like being down here towards the bottom, middle. Nothing wrong with that. You can see it here too. Gardner, Sanchez, Jorgensen battling it out. Everybody kind of single file, but Vincent, the man out front, but he's still got Cole Macheski right there. And again, talking about, trying to make that pass. This is where the frustration settles in on Cole Macheski. I mean, we don't know how much Cole Macheski's trying to push the issue, if he's just riding or whatnot. But still, even if he was trying to pass, this is the area right here that it would be tough to get around him.
And he's trying to work the high side as well. You can see it. Vincent, though, he's not running the true bottom. He's putting his car maybe half a lane, 3/4 of a lane up, just giving a little bit of air wash to the nose of the 69, which isn't allowing him to probably get it as easy as he might want.
And, in the meantime, it is pulling Gerlach up here, man, to these guys. I just looked at the last lap time. 56, 60, 40 is what they ran. So Gerlach, man, he's sitting there going, you two guys battle it out just a little bit. I'll be up here in a minute, man, to race with you. And kind of how this track performs a little bit. Right now it's all Vincent out front. Cole Macheski's right there with him. Medina having a heck of a run here tonight, man. And there in fourth, he's got Latham, and as I just switched off, Cole Macheski's able to make that pass.
Vincent, I think I saw him shade up to the high side through 1 and 2 that time, trying to take away the line from Cole Macheski. And Cole Macheski's just like, you know what? I think I'll run the bottom and get you.
Go back and watch the pass one more time here. So we're watching Cole Macheski. He went to the high side. A little run coming off there down the front stretch. Ooh, Vincent tried to protect the high side, and when he did, Cole Macheski just kind of run down there on the low on him. Okay, good little pass.
Good little pass, and right now there's also some cloud cover and iRacing over the track. It's gonna hopefully cool down the track a little bit. You get a little bit grippier conditions as well. Allows you to probably run, well, not probably run faster, but definitely run faster, and probably changes out the grooving. Not to mention, you can also see it every single lap, how dark the corners are getting from the rubber being laid down.
Absolutely. You got Medina, man, hanging on right there in the fourth place spot. You got Latham right there in the fifth. Sanchez, too, and then the Gardner along with them with Carr, Jorgensen, Floor. That's top 10s here tonight, Texas. Latham trying to, or actually, excuse me, Sanchez trying to work on the back end there, man, Latham. Not able to get that run down on that bottom yet.
Not yet. Sanchez, though, he had a great run through 3 and 4. He had a little bit more speed, but as soon as he got right up behind the 18, he kind of slowed him down with the aero wash. And now it looks like the bottom might be starting to come alive compared to the top.
Yeah, it's just so frustrating. And we've talked about a million times as a driver. It's frustrating right here because it looks like Sanchez might be a touch faster. He gets side by side. If he can push him up the track a little bit. Now, one thing, I watched the truck race. I watched the highlights of it, and I noticed they were leaning on each other a lot more than what we're seeing here. Might be something there you go, Tyler, to help you out a little bit. They were leaning on each other and trying to, the guy on the low side would try to push the other guy up, maybe lean on him to push him up the track to get that little bit of momentum coming off. To make that pass, kind of like right there, but he didn't have to lean him. But we're not really seeing that too much here. There's kind of a little bit of give and take so far. Not to say that'll happen, closing laps towards the end, but right now it looks like a little bit more give and take.
Yeah, it's a lot of respect from these guys not wanting to make the contact to possibly not kill, but ruin another competitor's day. So a lot of respect's being given, and I'd hate to say it, Joe, but these cars can't exactly always lean on each other the way they might have used to.
And you're right, it's as good as planted as some of these cars are. You're 100% right on that one. Sometimes just a little bit of contact on these can actually send them around is Latham. He's able to make that pass easy back on Sanchez, back on the high side. Here comes Carr, 2 in the picture.
Yeah, and they've been swapping positions, allowed Carr, and I think that's also the 72 of Clore. He's coming closer as well. So it's a battle for 5th, and yeah, battle for the lead. Vincent working the low side, got back around, and a little bit of a squeeze.
Yeah, that right there is perfect, man. We talked about that earlier. We saw the driver earlier who made the pass down on the low side, and I said that's probably the only way you're going to make it is you're going to have to take a chance to kind of slide up there, because the guy on the outside is going to have so much momentum coming off the turn. And yeah, it was either Cole Macheski was either going to run him over, or he's going to have to get out of it. A good heads up by Cole Macheski.
These top 3 again, Gerlach, he's gotten right to this. These two as they squabble around. This is the 3 we saw miles out front before the caution fell, and it's again they're miles out front.
Yeah, he got a 4-second lead right now over Medina, who is having a good stellar night, up 8 spots there in the 4th. Latham, he's sitting right there in the 5th place spot. You got Carr in 6th. See any other heavy movers? You've got Holloman. He's trying to get bounce back up 7. He's back in 11. Kibbe up 7 spots himself, and Greg Carr up 6. So that's kind of your the movers. The biggest one obviously being Medina right now, and Holloman who spun earlier, trying to see if he can't bounce back. So good bounce back there on him in 11th. But yeah, been a back and forth battle here between Vincent and Cole Macheski, and this time it looks like though Vincent a little bit better on that long run. We saw that before that caution. Cole Macheski wasn't able to reel him in.
I want to say last run at least was Cole Macheski might have used up his stuff going to the top early. He's been a lot more disciplined this time around, so it might honestly be the car set up to go faster quickly and die off a little bit as the run goes on, whereas Vincent, his car seems to have almost one level of speed, and it stays consistent the whole way through.
Absolutely. Vincent's been strong. Gerlach hanging the 3rd. Cole Macheski's trying to see if he can chase down the leader out front. Medina's having a good one with Latham there in 5th. Solid night so far here at Texas. Big track field here. 1.5 miles the track at Texas. Our Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series, and the season so far has been interesting. Wes, we've seen a lot of stuff, and earlier on we spoke about it, how the cars were reacting, just spontaneously coming out from under guys and spinning a lot, and we were trying to wonder what in the world's going on. Maybe they had the setups too loose, or just kind of maybe just overdriving the car a little bit. Who knows? And kind of corrected that. Then we went through a little spell, man. Had some interesting wild races. A little contact here and there, some cautions and whatnot. And Edmonds got that one straightened out. But so far, we've had some pretty darn good racing. I think throughout the season. So season-wise, I really feel like here in the Master Series, we've seen a little bit about everything, cautions, heated tempers, some penalties, and great racing all around throughout the season so far.
I completely agree with you, Joe. And yeah, it's in some things that kind of the reason behind that is iRacing. They have updates every week where they kind of fine tweak some things. They've also got the big season updates, which is actually about every 9 weeks,
13.
where there's typically a large
13? Yeah, 13. Week 13.
13 weeks, which typically is sorry, I was thinking about the school quarterlies. But
there we go.
But every 13 weeks where there's a massive change as tracks get updated and cars get updated, packages get updated. So that kind of can help explain why the cars act different, why we see them drive different. But also, I'd say as the season got longer, these drivers just got better as well.
They did, yeah, and two, we go also on this series being an open setup, and you've got guys like right here, Goosemarker, obviously Team Conti, who, if you don't know who Conti is, he's one of the pro drivers out there, and, they use setups, they try to test setups and try to get these cars the best they possibly can, and that's another thing, you evolve throughout as the season goes on. And I think that's what we've seen from a lot of the drivers out here. They've evolved into being better, gotten their setups right. Even though battling with what you were saying with iRacing's little updates, most of the time it's tire physics, tire models, and so forth. Maybe a little aero here and there. Got to see Boyles, man, lost a lot of momentum on that one. He'll lose 2 spots off the bat. So how easy it is on this track to lose it. He gained it and lost it, but. Yeah, just go off what you're saying there, Wes, definitely, and stepped up in great racing. You got your hats off, man. Obviously, the admins here too. You guys done an outstanding job.
Yeah, and you're right. Typically, it is like tire models and such. One big change that happened mid-season for us was Chevy entirely. This because they run what the actual Cup Series runs. Chevy had a whole new body reworked for the 2026 season for IRL, so they updated it here on iRacing. So that completely changed for a lot of the drivers that run the Chevy models here.
Yeah. Still some good racing. Vincent still the man out front. We're about to click it off here to lap 100 to be the halfway point. It's all Vincent out front. Cole Macheski has fallen back just a little bit, so I don't know. You mentioned that. Did he use up his tires?
Yeah, that's what I'm always wondering, and it's back to around that 0.8 of a second gap that he had before the caution flew out between him and Vincent. Gerlach, he's kind of lurking a little bit, about 1.2 seconds behind Cole Macheski. So I'd say the 33 is probably your best all-around car so far. Cole Macheski, though, he is an absolute great car throughout the first, I'd say, half of a run.
He's maintaining pretty good with the leader. He's only about 0.8 back. You got Gerlach right there along with him, the Medina car. I think at this point, maybe some of these guys might be just in riding mode a little bit. They've got a little faster car, great. They're going to, try to see if they can't make up some time, but you go back here around about the 12th place spot. Yeah, that's where you see a little bit of battling, amongst the drivers. But for the most part, I think these guys are just, okay, I see what my car's doing. I see what's doing in the long run. What do I need to change when we make our stop here? Actually should have a stop coming up. Well, there's Latham and Jorgensen in right now. So if we go off the 65 lap mark, probably we're looking at what? 110?
About 15.
Yeah.
15 laps.
I mean, a little early on Latham and Jorgensen's part, but I guess if they know, well, they still early. Well, they're still going to have to make another stop anyways. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, with how that caution fell in 50 laps, and as we see, whoa, really tight there as the 40 goes on to pit road and almost got hit by the 45 at Kibbe. Some of the drivers saw the caution fall out around lap 50, so they're like, you know what, we're guaranteed to need another 2 stops. Why not just go 50, 50, 50, and 50 instead of trying to go the full fuel length?
Bouncing off the back, that's Kibbe. You talked about that there. Do that too many times, you can knock the toe and the steering out on it. He hit it pretty hard. And I think he's coming on pit road now.
Yeah, and it also seems like he got some good amount of right. Oh, and he locked it.
Ouch. That's definitely going to put some damage on it.
I was about to say, it looked like he had some damage onto his right front fender. It looks a little bit crooked more than it should be. But then, yeah, locked it up going on to pit road and put even more damage on it.
Yeah, left side looking a little bad right now. So, wow, Kibbe, man, trouble on pit road. Vincent right there with it. Gerlach hanging on the third. Cole Macheski's there in the second place spot. And a lap car there coming around him. And then Carr hanging strong there in the fourth. Medina's following the fifth. Floor, though, kind of closing in the gap here a little bit. As I say that, Cole Macheski takes over. Oh, Vincent goes on pit road, or so leader on pit road.
Erlach, he's also in. So pit cycles kind of started. And this is where I'd say it's going to be real fun to see how much. Whoa, hold on to it, Kitty. Right there. That's the tricky bit of pit exit.
Woo. He's having an eventful in and out pit stop.
Definitely, as you want to be as fast as you can on pit exit to not lose time, but you can do something just like what Kibby did in the 45. He got up onto track and it kind of shot himself into the inside wall, which you do not have a lot of room there on that apron trying to get back around.
A lot more guys on pit road, a slew of machines, but yet right here seems like the top 6 have yet to make their pit stop. Cole Macheski, Clore, Heilemann, Grusmacher, Seymour, and Nicotera have yet to make their stop. So what do you feel is the benefit of them staying out this long here?
I mean, I think probably the hold on to it.
Yeah.
Salt to real loose, as I was about to talk, but I'd say the best benefit is you can have that tire offset.
Yeah.
Even though, yes, I think aero is going to be a lot more important, that tire offset can still help you just a little bit. I'd say, especially if
you're not too far behind.
If you're not too far behind, yeah. But the tire offset can help you a little bit. You also don't have to worry about being closer on fuel if you fill it up each and every time you're down pit road.
Absolutely. So you got Clore right there along with it with Heilemann, Grusmacher there. That's the top 4 have yet to make their pit stop. Number 2 though, man, for caution come out right now. That's
a lot of cars a lap down.
That is. I mean, Vincent right now would be the lucky dog, but if they get past Seymour, Vincent would get caught. Nope, Vincent got by him, so Vincent would be the lucky one. But you got Boyles, Carr, Medina, a lot of those other guys who was having good runs would have to take a wave around, or just hope that something happens and whatnot. So yeah, that's another thing about staying out like this too, is maybe hoping, but I think Cole Macheski's coming in now. Maybe,
I don't know. We'll see here through 3 and 4.
Heilemann's on pit road.
Nah, he's gonna stay out. Typically, if they come in, you see him check up a lot more into 3, just to try and hug that white line as close as he can. Shane's gonna follow him. Grusmacher, is he gonna possibly come in? Nope. I think these 3 probably committed to doing a bit of a longer run.
Yeah, and I'm looking. It's still, there's just no way that they're going to be able to make this at a one stop.
No.
They would have to go like 135. I would even say they'd have to go even at a 130, and that would still be stretching it. Yeah, and so that's another 15 laps or so on top of what we got here. There's just no. I don't see them having that kind of fuel. If they do, they've got another tank somewhere that I don't know about. Whether somebody said something about a basketball or something. Yeah.
Well, there's Cole Macheski. You see his answer as he pulls it down.
I think maybe Clore might come. Well,
no, he's staying out. He's a bit higher throughout the turn.
Grusmacher's
going to do the same.
And I'm not going to dismiss the case of tires could make a huge difference. The problem is with tires at this track is it's going to be how far back you are. If you're too far back, then the tires are just not going to make up the distance, and that's the bad thing about a lot of tracks here on iRacing. If you're just too far back, as you can see, Vincent's got back on the lead lap And Cole Macheski, unfortunately, now is a lap down. And I said Vincent got back on the lead lap. No, he's not.
Well, once Core goes into pit road, he will
Yeah,
be.
a lot of them will cycle back. So let's look at kind of maybe the time between Vincent and Cole Macheski as of right now. If we click on Vincent, it's 5.5 seconds. We got to look at the tire advantage because he came in at lap 113 to 105. Not quite 10 laps difference tire advantage. You see Grusmark on pit road now. So is that 7 laps or 8 laps of tires going to be beneficial enough to run a 5-second gap? I mean, he would need seconds, half seconds.
I don't think it's going to be beneficial enough. Whenever Vincent went into pit road, he was maybe about a second clear of Cole Macheski. So about 8 laps longer for an additional 4 seconds. I don't think that's probably beneficial. Now here's the thing. If they stay on the type of pit length they have been, I'd expect Vincent in about another 35 laps.
Yeah.
Whereas Cole Macheski, he's probably going to go another 60 or so. And that's going to give him even wider berth of a tire offset.
Well, let's look.
Then it might be possibly, depending on how close he gets before the pit cycle kicks off.
Well, right there, he ran a 29.88 to a 30.21 of Vincent. And that's exactly what I'm talking. That's not even a second difference. It is crazy to think about as Floor's coming on pit road. It is crazy to think about because, you know, in real life, an 8-lap difference of tires would really be a kind of a huge advantage. It sometimes just don't translate into times. I mean, there's a 39 to 93 that lap. So if we go off of what you were talking about, he's not even a second difference now. Even if he gets the second later in the race, it could just be then a time thing. How close are we going to be? You know, if it's 20 laps to go, has he got enough time to run him down at that point? You know, these are the kind of strategy races, man. It's interesting. And, you got to really enjoy these kind of races here. You're going to fuel mileage, but then you got, it's just almost like with tire mileage, I guess, is what we're talking about. There we go.
Tire mileage.
Tire mileage, yeah. How far are we going these tires? I mean, you know, who's going to be, because like that last lap was a 42 to a 17. Not even a half a second difference. Now, not to say that maybe Cole Macheski couldn't be saving some, you know, to maybe stretch it out longer like what you were talking about. That's a possibility. Probably feels that maybe even though it's a 3.4 second gap, you know what? I know Vincent's got to come back in earlier than I do. Let me not push the envelope as much. And then when he does go on pit road, turn it up just a little bit and maybe see if I can't get that gap further from him. So that way when I do come on pit road, and if he does come by me, it's not a 5, 6, or 7 second, you know, gap between us. Maybe I can get it down to 2 seconds or 2.5, and something that I could probably run him down with.
And I'd say that's probably what Cole Macheski might be banking on. Now, on the opposite side, if Vincent goes full fuel tank here, all 65 or so laps, that's going to really put a little bit of a foil in the plan for the 69 of Cole Macheski, I would say. Just because you're expecting him to go every 50, and if he goes the 65, the 15 extra this time around, it's not factored into a plan you might have.
Yeah, and that's true. Again, that would put him, lap 60, or actually laps 170, because he put it at 105.
Yeah.
And folks, we're just doing numbers off the top of the head here right now. So then it would put us at 30 to go. 30 to go or 25 to go on a track like this
Not enough time.
Not enough time. Not with a 5 to 6 second gap. And I know a lot of people are like, well, it's only 5 seconds. It's just how these tracks are. You can't. I mean, when I said it's an aero style race, that's basically what this place is. It's hard to pass an aero style race. Track position really is dominant, and kind of unfortunate because I do like seeing pit strategy races like we're seeing here, Wes. But sometimes the pit strategy gets negated by the fact of it don't matter if you had a great pit strategy, if the right time, or if the tires are just not doing what they need them to do, or you just don't have that time to catch up, then it don't matter. So I wish there was a way to fix it. I don't know what the way of fixing it would be. I guess that's something that nobody's ever, I don't say they never ask, but they don't ask a lot of it. How can we fix that in the racing? I know everybody wants to change the car, but at some point maybe look at the track. Yeah, look at the. You got to change the track somewhere. Something's got to be done somewhere, and I don't know the answer. So I don't know. Good battle right here, though.
It is. I think Latham right there. It was almost 3 wide for a second through 1 and 2. Latham was almost in the wall through it as Bowles put his nose up the middle, and now it's kind of put him on the back foot with Jorgensen trying to attack.
You got Jorgensen right there too. It's a pretty good night there in the 7th place spot. Latham along with him. Boyle's there in the front side of it. Sanchez behind him. Gardner, Holloman. A lot of those guys, man, kind of single file. You see Latham's able to take that spot, but you're right. We were talking right there. You saw Latham go way up high, and earlier we saw that move. I think Latham got a little bit further up there and got more in the dirtier stuff than what we saw earlier.
Yeah, he was a lot higher than what we've seen Jose Medina running. And probably upset his car just a little bit, as now he's got a great run on Boyles, who was just as high as Latham was at a moment. There's definitely a cushion for how high you can run up through 1 and 2. I think these guys might be trying to expand it, see if they can go higher than it, and just costing them a little bit.
And that's the big difference too, because I mentioned earlier about this track being your typical cookie cutter style track. You see Boyles go way up out of the top side, but just because they look it, and you said earlier they drive a lot differently, and you touched on that too. And this right here, because you don't see this very often at Charlotte. It's usually a bottom or middle side type of running. You don't really see a lot of way up there against the wall type. Unless something has really majorly changed tire wear wise, or excuse me, not tire wear, but tire model wise on the car. But I haven't seen at Charlotte them run that high. So there you go. It's kind of the difference between the tracks of how they drive.
Yeah, it's just a little bit different, but it's also making it a little bit more interesting, as now you see the 29 of Sanchez, he joins this battle. And it's playing the game of how high do you push for the exit without compromising yourself, possibly losing it, because you've got no grip up there.
Yeah.
As more people run up there, you'll probably see the grip levels change and might improve. But if you're just a single guy running as high up as we've seen Boyles the last couple times, it's going to take a little bit longer, and there's still a chance you spin it down just because your car has no traction.
Yeah, and you get up there easily in the dirty stuff. Marbles is what we call them. It's just rubber up on the track. But like you said, get those tires dirty. They get like slick real quick. You see right now, Sanchez was trying to close on the back of Jorgensen. And Jorgensen makes a little bit of slip. We've seen it all night long. The car behind him can make that ground up real easy. Holloman back up to 10th place spot here. Greg Carr, boy, he's the hard charger tonight, up 12 spots right now in 11th. So slowly but surely is just trying to make his way back to the front floor. He's battling back. Remember, he had that pit stop mishap earlier, had a penalty. cost him a lot of time early on, but still been able to maintain some. Got back up to 12th right now, maybe trying to take over the 11th spot here. Car looks like he might get it from him. Well, Grusmacher, after unfortunately caught up in the incident earlier, he's maintained pretty good right there in 14th place spot.
Yeah, him and Blair both able to come back up through the field a little bit after that incident that brought out the caution around lap 50.
Mm-hmm.
So good to see a bit of a rebound from both of them. Blair up to 10th, Grusmacher up to 14th. And honestly, just solid drives. Everybody's having a really good drive so far. We've only had the one accident. And this time around, this run plus the run we had before the pit cycle, everybody seemed to keep the cars a lot happier. I don't see any wiggles yet.
No. But the man's been on the roll right now. It's Vincent. He's up front. He's got a pretty good lead over Cole Macheski at 1.3 seconds, who they both have a pretty good lead over Alex Carr of a 5 6 to 5 second lead over him, who has Medina right there. He's got a little cushion between him, not quite a second, but about 7/10. You see it there in the picture. And they got a little bit of room. So kind of spread out when you go to the top four. But then you come back here with Boyles, Latham, Jorgensen, and all. They're kind of right there on top of each other.
Yeah, and it's that cluster effect of the draft, I would say. Now, dirty air, yes, it can absolutely hurt you in the corners, but along straightaways, it can pull you closer to a car as well. So it's kind of a yin-yang type of deal being right up behind a car. As Latham, he had a great run through 1 and 2 there. Almost got to the inside of Boyles, but checked up and fell behind. So it can help you pull closer to each other, but at the same time, it does kind of widen the gap throughout the turns.
And you saw that pull off the turn that Bulls had, just being on that top side lane there. So, we saw the pass earlier. The guy that went on the inside, he had to kind of shoot up to the top. So I think that's what Latham's going to do if he's committed to that bottom. At what point do you say, okay, I'm going to clip the nose off the guy behind me there, and hopefully he don't run me over?
And the entry in middle of the corner is really good for the 18 right now, but that run off the top, it's just letting Boyles stay ahead.
Yeah.
Now they're both using the bottom through 3 and 4, so it's about even there. But you can kind of see, well, he didn't get quite as low. He's going to turn down, actually, on the exit and get a straighter run. Now he's side by side with Boyles for a good bit. Not quite going to help him, though. He has to duck back behind.
Yeah, they keep that up. They're going to bring Jorgensen in the picture.
Yeah, and Latham actually kind of chopped off the nose of the 9 for a moment there on the exit. Great run through 3. Now he's definitely to the inside.
You got enough momentum to do it. If you can clear him and maybe shoot up the track, you need to shoot it up now, because Boyles is going to be coming like a hot potato off this turn. You can see it right there.
He is, and Boyles, he's going to move to the inside going into 3, but
it's not enough momentum.
Not enough momentum, and 3, honestly, it's not as different. It's not as different, I was about to say, but Boyles looks like he might hold on to it. Now it's going to be an opposite effect. Boyles stays to the bottom, probably going to shoot up to the top on exit to chop off or cut off the 18 of Latham.
That car got loose on him, man. It got tight loose real quick. You saw it right there in the middle there, Wes. That was perfect. Perfect scene that you saw the car. It looked like it was going up the track. It got tight, and then it just instantly snapped loose, and he just lost all kind of momentum.
He did, and it's absolutely hurting him right now. He lost not only to Latham, he looked like he could have had a move to get that position back. Latham powered it around the outside, and then he lost another 2-3 positions to Clore, Sanchez, and Jorgensen.
Yeah, wow. So just like that, man, goes from around about 5th place spot all the way back to 9th. Still in the hunt of this thing, but look out here. Clore, man, closing on the back door, trying to put him in his autograph on that back side there. Sanchez, if we can't get to that top side. move around them. Latham in the front side of them. So it's heating up around here about the 7th place spot.
Just about. And look who's back here as well. Gerlach, he was typically running up in 3rd, but he got a penalty on pit road, I think. Probably got caught speeding, so he's trying to find his way back up to 3rd, where he was running almost all night. But as this hornet's nest, he's going to have to get through.
Yep. Yeah, Holloman, Gardner, Carr right there. That's Greg Carr. Alex Carr obviously having a great run up in 3rd place. Hyatt along with him back there. And there's, and Grusmacher.
We stay green, so
let me go back here and see. I saw what the pass was. Well, let's watch what happened to Grusmacher. We got kind of tail end of it. He probably just lost it. Yeah, but it looks like it got loose. Oh, you're loose and pushed up in the wall, and we don't see it, but could easily have damaged the steering. Oh, it snapped. Oh, that's a snap. That's just. Almost just like what Kyle Larson happened to him in the race today.
Just middle of turn, not expecting it, just breaks on you.
Yeah, and that's just, and we've seen that. We spoke about it earlier. We've seen that earlier in the season, and I said, it's been interesting to watch and see what's going to happen to one of these guys, because in the real NASCAR race today, just mentioned Kyle Larson. Same. I mean, that's really almost identical to what happened. Go back, folks, and watch the highlight of it. You'll see almost identical to what happened to him. And he even said on the radio, "I just lost it. It just came out from under me," and it did. I mean, it was just, zoop, there it goes. No. And as a driver, you're just sitting there like, I don't know what happened. It's just a tough night for Grusmacher. I mean, getting caught up in that mess earlier, nothing he could do. Unfortunately, Holloman spinning and just nowhere to go. And then that right there, just snapping loose, just frustrating. And Cole Macheski's moved back on the back bumper here, Vincent. Remember, it was a big gap between them two.
It was, and he's ran it right down, so you might have been right. You might have been saving a little bit, waiting for when he thinks Vincent's probably going to go back into pits and then start pushing the issue.
Yeah.
But if Vincent's going to do that every 50 laps like we would have guessed, probably going to be coming in within the next, I'd say, 5 to 10 laps. So if you're Cole Macheski, you want to be right on his rear bumper as he goes to do it, and Vincent up into the wall out of 2 as well.
Yeah, and another thing, even if Vincent was going to push it to that 60-65 mark, this is a good, I would say, a good strategy by Cole Macheski. Go ahead, pass him, maybe see if I can't build a little bit of lead, whatever I can get. Heck, if I can get a half second or second on him, that's just even more, so that when he does go in the pits, whether if he goes like now or if he waits later on, I've got that much more advantage here. So, I think it's a smart move by Cole Macheski. And it kind of looks like, Vincent could be also here, Wes, saving to go to that 60-65 mark. And we don't know, which we won't know here until maybe the next couple laps if he's going to come in, but he could be saying, okay, you know what? The problem with him doing that at this point is it's going to put him closer to what Cole Macheski had. Oh, and Macheski had to check up. Wow, man, Vincent's going to. Well, there's one way of messing up the game plan by Cole Macheski. He had to check up at a lap car. Oh, I know he's probably heated. Wow.
Can't quite tell who that is
80,
at the moment.
80-some?
87, I think that's Seymour. He had caused a massive checkup through 3 and 4. And you had fresh out of the pits, the 40 Colton Gardner. He was coming with new tires. And then just seeing that, Vincent, they kind of split the they split the 69 and Cole Macheski took it 3 wide. Vincent able to get back around. Now Cole Macheski's going to have to start winding back up and reel the 33 back in.
Yeah.
It's going to be a little bit more difficult, though, because there is a lap car involved trying to get back on the lead lap the hard way with his fresh set of tires.
Yeah, and I think right now, if Komacheski is not able to reel back in Vincent, probably the best thing is, okay, let me stay right here on this back bumper, or as close as I can to him. That way I minimize the effect of him having such a huge lead or advantage when he does come into pit road, because either way, I feel like Vincent's going to have to come on pit road before Komacheski does. And see, Vincent, man, though he's popping that wall like that, he had to come in earlier.
Pit cycles also started. Jorgensen and Latham both down pit road. Hyatt is as well. Boyles and Gardner, they've already had their services for what we assume probably their final stop. So it's looking like pit cycle's about to kick off. So if we're expecting the 33 to go every 50 like what we would assume, and as well as I think what Komacheski would assume, he's probably going to be in the next, I'd say within 5 laps. So Komacheski definitely wanted to get in front of him, and if he does push the envelope to the 65, I'd still say it's probably he'd want to be in front of the 69 of Komacheski.
At this point, which we're at lap 150, at this point, both of these cars could theoretically go the distance. Now it's just, I think at this point, how far you want to stay out, and
there's Vincent.
Vincent's, yeah. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say Komacheski stays out for at least another
10.
Yeah, that's a good number. He doesn't want to stay out too long, because then we go back to, Vincent's going to get back in front of him. You don't want to go too far back. That's not. Heck, I'd even say come in. Yeah, I was about to say, I'd even say maybe come in now. And I think the reasoning behind this here is kind of what I was going to say before. You don't want to be too far back, because trying to make up ground on this track is just a nightmare. And we've seen it all race long. And here, he might actually come back, if not being right there on Vincent, he might come back being in front of Vincent, depending on how good a stop he has. You see Vincent right now, he's right on the track. Komacheski's coming out of pits now. So he's actually going to come back in front of Vincent. They're going to be right there, almost nose to tail.
Vincent, he had a little bit better of a pit cycle, just underneath us.
He had an awesome in and out too. He had a 45-42 to a 47 total for Komacheski.
Yeah, about 2 seconds different. But Komacheski, like you said, he's still in front of the 33.
And you know what?
And now they're about even laps on tires.
You know what, here, Wes, that distance right there is the distance of what they came in. And I remember when I said earlier, when Komacheski wanted to at least get in front of him. There you go. That is why he got in front of him. Now Vincent's got to see if he's got the car enough to get back in front of Komacheski. Oh, so not only do we got, strategy racing playing out for pits, now I think as long as we don't have another caution, obviously another caution, everybody's going to come back in. But now it's, okay, does Vincent got enough car? We know Komacheski's done it. Does Vincent got enough car to come back around? And that's now how it's going to play out.
They're close to actually getting back on the lead laps. You got the leader, Shane Clore. He's not been in the pits yet. Neither has Holloman or Grootsmacher. So if a caution were to fly, say Komacheski gets his nose just ever so in front of the 72, and then a caution comes out, Vincent's going to have the lucky dog. Mm-hmm. So they're going to be right next to each other still.
Komacheski's back on the lead lap now.
And I think Vincent's probably going to get it right here into 3.
Yeah, they do. Carr's going to be the man would get it. So my thing is here though is, does Vincent got enough, or has Cole Macheski been, I don't know, hiding something all race, and then now's the time, like, you know what, boom, I'm out front, last one, here we go. Let me show you my cards, and my cards are, I'm way faster than what I was showing all race.
You could definitely be hiding and just being patient, running your race until the very end and turning up the wick for sure.
Smart.
Which, always a good thing to do. Don't let them know how good you truly are until the final bit, after everybody's done their last bit of adjustments and pit stops.
Yep. Well, I'll tell you what, it has been a very, very good race here tonight. Texas Motor Speedway, Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series, and we're watching it come down to the final laps here. Got about 35 to go. Clore, Holloman, and Grusmacher have yet to come on pit road, but you see Cole Macheski and them right there, Vince, and those are the two we're really watching, because I think that's where the race is going to come down to between those guys. But folks, I'll step away, take a quick commercial break. We'll be right back here in a few.
And then if you want to, just a little bit about how the foundation helped you.
Executive Director of Team Red, White, and Blue, and I wanted to take a minute just to welcome you on board and let you know that we're proud to have you as a new member of our team. This short video is a way for us to give you an idea of what you can expect from your experience at Team Red, White, and Blue, and also what we expect from you in return. Something that's really, really important to the fabric of our organization is our Eagle ethos. It's just 6 words, but they mean a lot to us, and they guide us in all we do. Those 6 words: passion, positivity, people, commitment, camaraderie, and community are more than just organizational values. They're what we're all about and what we strive to work for in all of our programs and in every single one of our interactions. The next thing I want you to know is that we are an inclusive organization by design. We're open to veterans of all eras, of all ages, branches of service, combat experience, as well as active duty service members, their families, their friends, and just supportive members of the community that come out and take part in our mission. Every single person is important to what we do. All are welcome, and we look forward to seeing you all out there.
Welcome to Team Red, White, and Blue. Thank you so much for joining our team. My name is Mike Irwin, and I have the honor to serve as the Executive Director. When I founded Team RWB in 2010, our initial focus centered on veteran transition and reintegration into civilian life. But as the large-scale deployments have slowed down, the military's ability to support reintegration has improved, hundreds of thousands of veterans have used their GI Bill, and companies have prioritized hiring veterans, the overall mental, physical, and emotional health of the veteran community still has a long way to go. And Team RWB has a major leadership role to play. And that means that we need you. We need you to close out this video and to know that you didn't just join a listserv or download an app. You joined a team composed of real people, over 200,000 strong, who are veterans on active duty in the National Guard or reserves or civilian supporters. And these people, who we refer to as Eagles, want you to get involved in Team RWB. Why is it so important for you to become an active member of the team? Because when you do, we know that it will improve your mental and physical health, help you to develop new and meaningful relationships in your life, and provide you with a sense of purpose that comes from belonging to something bigger than yourself. Over the past decade, veterans struggling with the invisible wounds of war and post-military life have told us how important physical fitness has been to them. Running has helped veterans battle nightmares. Triathlons have helped with headaches, and CrossFit has enabled them to sleep better. These fitness activities, along with others, have made them more confident and healthy people. Unfortunately, millions of veterans have forgotten about the power of physical training in their lives. So as you get involved and see the power of Team RWB in your own life, I hope that you feel inspired to reach out to other veterans and encourage them to follow in your footsteps. In closing, I want to again thank you for stepping forward and joining Team Red, White, and Blue. We're fired up to have you on the team, and I know that you're going to be flying the Eagle with pride for a long time.
And then if you want to, just a little bit about how the foundation helped you.
You know, I was in a pretty serious deal, as most people know about. It's a pretty tough deal, very traumatic for my family. A lot of stuff that we went through that people would never understand. Without the assistance from the Steve King Foundation and several other donors as well, we could have come out of that thing in financial ruin. But it just takes a lot out of your family just to go through rehabilitation, all the medical bills. There's so many hidden expenses and stuff that you would never know about until you actually get involved in something like that. And and even if you help somebody out with 500 or 1,000 or 100, whatever it is, it means a ton to the person, just to be able to live and to get through these things. It takes an ungodly amount of money, time, effort, patience, with the families, the doctors, to be able to get through a traumatic experience. And, with the Steve King Foundation, that makes everything a lot better.
There's an immeasurable bond that forms when you join the service. You'll do anything to protect and defend those at your side, and pushing the limits of your well-being is all just part of the job. But when this shared experience ends, it's easy to carry that mission-first mindset with you and neglect your own health and mental fitness. Team Red, White, and Blue understands these challenges and knows that together we can show veterans that their best days are ahead by providing opportunities to build healthier lifestyles right where they live and work. Through races, service projects, workouts, and a cutting-edge mobile app, our members develop a sense of camaraderie and mutual support. With a growing force of over 200,000 strong, we invite all veterans, families, and non-military supporters to start putting their well-being first. Team Red, White, and Blue is forging America's leading health and wellness community. Will you join the team?
All right, we're back here, folks, and it's around the pit stops for most out here have been completed. We're talking about Shane Clore here, has yet to make his pit stop, which he did pit at 118. He's getting very close on what he's going to have to do. 22 left in this one, and was just here talking with Wes, and Wes, we feel like maybe he's just hoping for that caution to fly.
I think Dang, I'm sorry. I had a hiccup coming. I'm definitely thinking so, because there's no way he's able to go the rest of this race length. He's going to, just based off if we're going off the max or not 165, the 65, he'd be looking around lap 185, 183 is when his fuel tank would run out. And that's 15, 17 laps of gas he'd have to save. And we talked about it, Joe. I don't think anybody's going to be able to save that much. So right now, he's just kind of hoping for a caution to come out.
Yeah. I mean, he has a pretty good lead of 17 seconds over Cole Macheski. I mean, he could definitely save, but You know, we talked about it earlier. Can you save that amount? That's an awful lot of fuel to save. I don't see. I don't know. I don't see it.
And he's not driving as though he's saving either. Just watching his onboard with what he streams.
Yeah.
He's not pushing in the clutch. He's not turning the car off through the turn. He's running it out, hoping he's going to have a caution before he runs out.
Absolutely. Well, 18 to go. We talked about this battle right here, though. Cole Macheski and Vincent, and Cole Macheski has spreaded that lead to 1.8 seconds over Vincent. And I feel like that's what's going to be the two right here. As we're saying that Clore pretty much is going to have to come in, but a little battle back here around about 6th, 7th place spot.
Yeah, it's really about the only battle there is on track of Boyles, Greg Carr, and 29 of Sanchez. And Greg Carr, he had to serve a pass-through at the very start of this race. That's why he went down a lap early on. So it's a great run-up, plus 17 spots for him throughout the day. Into the top 6, maybe trying to see if he can get a top 5.
Absolutely. And with 16 to go, Boyles right now having a good run. I mean, Greg Carr, I mentioned earlier about him being the hard charger. I mean, he's up 17 spots, sitting right there in 6th. So definitely an outstanding run by him. Sanchez right there behind him with Boyles. As, we're watching that. That's a battle.
Here we go.
Yeah, they're battling, ain't they?
That's definitely battling, and within 20 to go, these guys can kind of throw blocks as they wish. There is a blocking rule put in place as Clore. We saw him right there. He's finally on the pit road, going to let Cole Macheski and Vincent eventually take over the top spots. But there is a blocking rule to where there's nothing egregious that's allowed to, like no massive blocks like what we saw from Sanchez on Boyles until you're within 20 to go. But not always going to be taken the lightest, and by whoever gets blocked, at least it could tick someone just a little bit the wrong way.
Absolutely. Floor's on pit road, so that puts Cole Macheski in the front side leader right now, and he is stretching that lead out. I got a feeling he was just sitting back there kind of baiting on Vincent a little bit. He's got that lead now at about 2.2 seconds.
Yeah, I think I'm probably going to have to agree with you. Cole Macheski, he was probably just playing it patient for the most bit early on in the race, not showing what he could have done, and now said, yep, I think I'm good to go from here on out. Waved goodbye as he went by the 33 before the final bit of pit stops and ain't really looked back yet.
Cole Macheski out front, Vincent there in second. Carr having a good run here tonight there in third. Get down here to the closing laps here, folks. About 13 to go, 12-13. Medina having an outstanding run. Let's see if he can't maybe reel in Carr. He's about 7/10 off. He's a touch faster, which actually the last time they were pretty close, 61-63. So we'll see maybe if that dirty air has an effect on him.
Yeah, just about. Everybody's running consistent with lap times.
Chase Elliott, if you're talking about the real race, he won today. If you're talking about this race, it ain't over with yet. Right now, Cole Macheski. But if he keeps doing what he's doing, Cole Macheski's going to win.
Now, him and Chris both set their best times this most recent run, which happened to be the best times. Just Cole Macheski looks like he's able to keep his car faster for longer.
Yeah. Now, caution probably at this point, Cole Macheski does not want to see. He wants to see this thing go green flag the rest of the way. He doesn't want to give Vincent a or car, any of those guys, an opportunity to get to his back bumper.
No.
And Nina right there, who is still about 0.7 back. Greg Carr, who has just outstanding job all night long, up 18 spots there in fifth. But we mentioned it earlier that just how tough it is to pass through the field. Even up 18 spots, it's taken him pretty much about the entire race to come up through 18 spots. So you just don't see somebody coming through the field, just blasting through it.
No, it's not. It's a long, grueling fight like we've talked about pretty much all the way through the broadcast tonight, with just how the track kind of races, what you really got to do in order to make the pass happen. But Greg, he's done really good with it, especially after being put a lap down first lap with a drive-through. So well done with him. And we've also been able to interview him a couple times. He says he's takes the old man approach of let all these youngins go and drive their tires off, put their tires until they can't grip no more, and then he just comes right on by.
Yeah,
it does him well at the end of the races. So him up in fifth, I don't think is too much of a surprise.
Yeah, and that's what I was talking about earlier, is being a little more conservative and whatnot. The unfortunate side of it is this track, if you're a little bit too conservative, you're not going to be able to. It's not a winning formula unless the other guys just truly have a bad race. But it can get you a good finish, and I think that's what Carr's going to come out of here with. Greg, that is, going to come out of here with a good finish here tonight. So far sitting there in the fifth place spot. Shane Kluwer, who's had an up and down night. There in eighth place, along with Latham in seventh. Justin Boyles still running, man, right there in the ninth. You got Jorgensen, who put it on pole tonight, there in 10th. When we look back here at some of the other ones, Grusmacher, unfortunately, back in the 17th place spot. He's had an eventful one here, but trying to look, Holloman. Another one there sitting in 12th, so that brings up our so you got Ginningsman and Kluwer.
Ginningsman not in tonight.
Yeah, so Kluwer's automatically going to win on that one. So he's going to go to the winner. So Grusmacher and Cole Macheski, and right now Cole Macheski's there. So if everything plans out like we've got right now, Cole Macheski's going to go into the winner's circle and going to go to the final race. And it's going to be Grusmacher and Kluwer. Yeah. And our next one at Dover. Monster Mile. Well, actually, we go to road course next one. The Monster Mile at Dover.
Yeah, for the admin box at least. They're not going to do it for Watkins Glen, which I think is going to be a theme scheme night. I can't remember what theme it's going to be.
Favorite video game? What's your favorite video game?
I mean, recently I've been doing a lot of Ark Survival Evolved and Ark Survival Ascended, so probably that at the moment. Overall, though, and I'm happy because they are redoing it. Assassin's Creed Black Flag.
Okay. Yeah. My overall probably. Oh, that's a tough one. Because if I go off of the game that I've played the longest, got to be the Division. But I'm old, so I've played a lot of games. So, yeah. I mean, I can take it all the way back to the Pong and Pac-Man days. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm gonna stick to the Division. That one I've played the last. I mean, it's 10 years old, and there you go. But white flag is out for the man right there, Cole Macheski, and he has done an outstanding job tonight. I think the strategy that he played, Vincent probably just, I don't know if Vincent saw it coming or not, but It has paid dividends here as he comes out of 4 like a rocket ship and is going to put it in victory lane. And Vincent, even though he had a great car, going to come up one more spot short here, but come up in second. And Alex's car, though, good run. He's going to hold off Medina and come home there in the 3rd place spot. But man, what a race! And there he's going to go spinning around. Shoot. He says, you know what? I'm take my early burnout the hard way. But man, what a race here, man. Wes, these guys tonight, only 1 caution. Wow.
That's nice, long run, and I'm honestly, like you said, 1 caution. I'm curious, did that caution decide when people were going to do their pit cycles?
I think it jumbled them up a little bit. I really do. Made it interesting for us, but I think it really jumbled them up.
It definitely jumbled it up. I want to know, like, because we always talk about, like, pit cycles about it depends on when everything's going to be full green or not.
Right.
And such. So we always go based off of, like, full length, estimated fuel efficiency, how long they can go on a full tank, see how many pit stops is probably what they're going to do. So I'm going to be a little excited to see if that caution definitely played a factor about when these guys were going to pit, because they seemed for the most part to come in about every 50 laps, which is caution fell almost right on lap 50.
Well, let's bring up Alex's car. Let's get a word with him.
Alrighty. Alex, this is Joe and Wesley up in the booth. You got a copy?
I do, yes.
Well, man, P3 tonight, a nice long green flag run to end it out. Just the 1 caution. Run me through your race a little bit, what you were thinking along each and every moment.
Yeah, really, it was just taking it easy the entire time. Saving tire, that was the biggest thing. I knew I didn't have the pace that some of the TWRS guys had this week, but I knew I had good long run pace, and I was just glad to just take it easy, be methodical, and come away with a podium.
Well, take it easy and being methodical. I know that's the way Greg runs it, and he's trying to teach it to some of the other guys as well. And seems like you picked it up tonight. And one major question I've actually got, so the 1 caution, it fell around lap 1, not lap 150, but on lap 50 or so. And ever since then, everybody seemed to be pitting about every 50 laps or so. Was that the plan coming in tonight, or is it just that kind of set the precedent of, hey, this is what we're going to do?
Yeah, so you had 2 options coming into the night. You could either 3-stop it by pitting every 50 laps, or you could 2-stop it if you could get to about lap 67. My tank, I was able to get to lap 68, so I was going to attempt to 2-stop it. But once that caution came out, it made it an easy choice to do it about every 50 laps. But if that caution didn't happen, I'm sure you would have seen some mixed strategy out there.
Well, mixed strategy or not, it's still a good run, and I'd say honestly probably one of the best runs we've had going forward. And not saying that other races have been bad, but it was just solid all around by everybody. P3, nothing to scoff at for you, and just really good points day overall.
Thank you. Yeah, and it was a fantastic race. The league has been in an awesome shape for a while. It's super clean racing all around, and just kudos to everyone out there. They're doing an amazing job keeping these races so clean. And honestly, I don't really know any other leagues out there this clean in the next gen era, where you run an open race, you run other leagues, people are just gunning it at all times. So it's great to get long runs, and just kudos to everyone for being courteous, but also being aggressive when it calls for as well.
Well, that's all I've got for you. Joe, you got something for him?
Just an outstanding run here tonight for you, and Wes touched on it, the tires and everything tonight. Did you kind of maybe feel the effects of any of the dirty air, early on in the race?
Yeah, that was tough for sure, and that's especially early in the race. I dropped back quite a bit because I knew I needed to get to that lap 68 mark or 67, 68 mark. But then the tire wear, you just burn your right front off like crazy. And so in those early runs, I was really tapering it back, because if you push too hard, you're going to burn the right front off. And that's what you saw probably around lap 50 or so before we had that caution. Some people were really falling off the tables because they pushed too hard in that dirty air. So yes, that was a factor. Once the race spread out, though, you were pretty much able to run pretty hard without worrying about it. So the answer is, though, dirty air, definitely impactful, definitely aware of it, and it was challenging to combat that.
Hey, definitely challenging. Got you third tonight. Got anybody you want to thank?
I just want to thank my Team Birdie Racing, Greg Carr, Josh Hyatt, and John Bender. They're awesome. We worked all week on getting our setups ready. And then CFM, especially Evan Say, does a great job getting setups ready to go for us each week. So thanks to all around, and thank you to the Spartan League. I think just everyone running it, everyone's doing a great job. Thanks to the admins, thanks to the broadcast crew, and thanks for making this a great experience.
Well, there you go. Alex Carr bringing her home in third tonight. Let's bring the man up here, man. Chris Vincent did everything he could, Wes, to try to get that win, but Cole Macheski just outsmarted him a little bit. Let's get a word with him.
Hey, Chris, it's Wesley and Joe up in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, man, second place, just one position short. You seemed like you probably had the best car throughout the first 3 quarters of the race. And then Cole Macheski, right before the final pit cycle, just came up, got past you, and then set sail after both of y'all were in the pits.
Yeah, I'm convinced he threw our crew chief a 20 to throw a bad set of tires on, because that was the wildest set of tires that I had all race. They were so loose.
Well, Texas, it's hot, it's slick, that at least I know of. Granted, I ran a Xfinity race, not a Cup race, and it was not open setups, but throughout the night, how's the car feeling beyond just that final set, with turn 1 being so much different from what I feel like 3 and 4 were?
Yeah, as long as I could get to the car to the paint, I had no complaints. I had plenty of drive off. The whole race, I was getting about 8% more wear on the rear than the front, so I was going to tighten it up last run, but I felt like I could have stayed ahead of Thomas and just gave him the bit dirty air. But he got by me. I tried to let the tires cool off, but it was just too wild, and I wasn't going to try to wreck just to try to run him down. But good team finish, 1-2.
I mean, good team finish is always good, and you almost actually made me spit out my drink there when you said, I'm convinced that he threw my crew chief a 20 to put me on a wrong set of tires.
Oh, the car was so wild and his was so good. Like, his turned on and mine took a different turn.
Well, whether it took a different turn or not, I kind of is still second place, nothing to be too mad about at least. But I asked the same thing to Alex here with that one single caution on lap 50. He said there were kind of 2 different strategies. Try to go for a 2-stop, which would have required a little bit of saving it, versus 3 every 50. What were you thinking about going into the race, and did that caution kind of make you choose one over the other?
So first pit stop, I was going to pit at lap 54, and Thomas was going to come in at 55 so he could lead a lap. With the caution coming out, then we just bumped our pit strategy down the road. But he decided to stay out 10 laps longer than I did. I assumed he was coming in right after I did. So that was a little twist.
So just not exactly. So y'all had something coming in, and he went a little bit off script, but not too much.
Yeah, and then, oh man, I looped it coming to the first green flag stop. That was fun.
Did you?
Oh yeah, I spun all the way out coming onto pit road for the first green flag stop.
We missed it.
I don't think we caught that. It didn't flash up for us.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I drove angry for like 4 laps. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna come out in front of Thomas. He's staying out. So then I backed my pace down.
Alrighty. Well, Joe, you got anything else for him? I think I'm done. I got what I needed to know.
Yeah, I mean, outstanding run. And like Wes said, I mean, it looked like you had that fastest car. And I talked about maybe Colt Macheski was just hanging back just a little bit. Now, as far as pit strategy goes there, I don't know if Wes touched on it, but what was going through your mind on that last pit cycle? Was you hoping that Colt Macheski would run it longer, but it seems like he came in right there with you, or maybe a lap back, or was you hoping that he would go in, maybe sooner, or what was going through your mind on that last pit stop?
I did think he was going to stay out a few laps more than I did, but in my mind, I knew he had to pit with me to either come out in the lead or close behind me, because, I mean, with old tires, you're running 30.6, 30.8. With new tires, you can get down in the 29.5s. Right.
Now, and then I guess when you saw that he came out of the pits and he was right there in front of you, did you, at any point there, you say, maybe I've got enough to get ahead of him? Because I know y'all had a tight battle before y'all came in the pits.
I was trying to mirror drive him to try to get him off his spot, but no, he hit his marks, and that could have probably hurt me too. Just following his tracks too long and got the fronts hot, and he was able to have the clean air and just drive away.
Hey, I tell you what, still a good, outstanding run for you. Got anybody you want to thank for that second place tonight?
Yeah, my family, kids, Team Watson, BMP team, Icon Apparel, DMD does all my paints, Devin Maines. He does excellent work, so if anybody needs a paint, that's your guy. And you guys for putting on a great broadcast. The Fuge family for putting the league together.
Well, there you go, Chris Vincent bringing it home in second. Bring the man up here, though, man. I think kind of outclassed and outsmarted the field here tonight. Colt Macheski joined the booth. Got a copy.
Gotcha.
I just said I think maybe you kind of outclassed, outsmarted him a little bit. You sit back there, rode behind Vincent. Yeah, through the pit stops, and I know Wes was curious on whether or not that caution threw your pit strategy off a little bit, but then when you saw Vincent pit on his second one, what maybe was the strategy at that point?
I wasn't planning to go like 10 or so laps more. I was just in a groove, and I just kept going.
Definitely kept going. You had the car tonight. We talked so much about dirty air. When you were riding behind Vincent, were you just, I guess at this point, was that the strategy was just to ride, or was it the dirty air that you just couldn't get up to him?
So yeah, I was definitely trying to get to him and pass him. I was just stuck in a bubble. It just like I couldn't gain any time, and I just stuck. It just couldn't go anywhere.
Well, you finally got around him, though, man. And now there is one thing. When you got around him there before y'all made the pit stops, and then that lap car, you almost came up onto him. Did that maybe throw your game? Did you think that was going to throw your game plan off there when he got back around you?
So, not really. I was just confused. I didn't even see him. I thought he was high. I don't know if he was low or he was in the middle of the track. I couldn't really tell. And next thing I know, I see a car in front of me. So I was just tunnel vision. But I'm just glad I didn't get into him and cause a wreck there. That would have been bad. But yeah, that scared me. That scared me pretty good.
Well, I tell you what, it's scary enough to get it back out front. Had a bad, fast, hot rod. Wes, man, I tell you, man, here he had the class of the field here tonight. You got anything for him?
Nothing really. It's me and Joe were wondering, especially on that last pit stop, which I know he just hit on, was we thought, well, as soon as you got around, Vincent, you kind of drove away, said goodbye, if you were holding back or not, but you weren't planning on going those 10 extra laps longer. We thought it might have been something you considered, and we were just wondering if you were going to carry that trend into the final pit stop or not.
Well, I thought about running long, but then I didn't want to lose so much, as much time as I did that first go around. I just felt like it was smarter to just come in a lap or two after, kind of be as close to him as possible.
Yeah, even with that first pit cycle, under green at least, you were able to drive back to him after losing all that time, but at that point your tires probably not the happiest with you.
Oh yeah, I was pushing it. The whole race I was just driving the wheels off the thing.
Driving wheels off the thing for sure. And that first run before the caution even came out, you were one of the first ones we saw move up to the high side and run it consistently, giving you some great runs off of 2. Do you how much of a difference was it between trying to make a pass on the bottom and a pass up top?
Yeah, making a pass up top is definitely a lot. You get a bigger run off. Bottom, you got to be a little more patient on the throttle, because if you stomp on it, it'll just loop around on you. So definitely top side is really good for making passes.
Well, it helped you get your win here, I'd say, with how quick you moved up through the field to put yourself right behind your teammate, and then help you stay close as well. So good job with that, Thomas. And before we let you go for the night, any shout outs you want to give, friends, family, sponsors?
I definitely want to thank everybody at Team Watson, BMP, Icon Apparel, and just all my teammates here in GWRS, and you guys in the booth as well.
Well, we thank you, man. You guys always give us a good show to broadcast, and that's what makes our lives easy. Whenever you give us something fun to watch and something good to commentate over and have the fans give them an interesting show every night.
Yeah, $20 goes a long way.
Well, man, we hope you have a good night. Go enjoy your win. Go celebrate a little bit.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Well,
Thank you, man. You too.
There you go. Old Cole Macheski tonight. Folks, what a race it was. Let's look at the unofficial results order here tonight. As Cole Macheski pulls it off and wins it here, with Vincent coming home in second, Carr there in the third. Jose Medina finishing out in the fourth, a great car there in the fifth. Got Shane Clore pulling it up here in the sixth, Mark Sanchez there in the seventh, Timothy Latham in eighth. Blair Holloman had finishing out pretty good in the ninth place. Got Colton Gardner there in 10th. Dakota Jorgensen in 11th. Boyle, he holds on to the 12th. Look back at the 13th place spot here. You had a man there, Hyatt. Then you got Nicotera in the 14th. Gerlach 15th. Seymour in the 16th. Grusmacher 17th. J.P. Jones 18th. Kibbe the 19th. Salter 20th. Bender hanging on the 21st. Westwood 22nd. Alpha then 23rd. I tell you what, Wes, man, really great race. Had the one caution. I think it mixed up a little bit on the pit strategy there for some of these guys. But all in all, outstanding race for everyone here tonight.
Yeah, outstanding. A really good long green flag run to finish off the night. Always good to see and always good to watch. And it was a little bit strung out just with all the aero wash and stuff and the dirty air. But we, of course, always have those little clusters throughout the pack. That's always gives us a good show with drivers trading a position in almost every single corner, every single lap.
Absolutely. Folks, we're going to leave here. Texas Motor Speedway. We got road racing next week. Man, ought to be a good one before the Spartan Sim Racing League Master Series. And myself and everyone, have a good night.